Time for our regular weekly spot with Nigel Williamson of Nigel's Animal Rescue. And tonight we have guests.
We certainly do. G'day Phil, g'day John.
Top of the evening to you, Nigel.
Good to see
And
you.
just before we start,
Yes,
just
Nigel.
in case from last week,
Yes.
here's your frog that you asked.
Oh,
There's
thank
one
you,
for you as
Nigel.
well.
Thank you very
Oh,
much.
how nice. And he's been,
Fredo frog.
been in his top pocket for half an hour and it's melted.
It's nice and warm for you. It warms it
As
up.
long as you haven't been sitting on it.
No. So tonight I've brought in two guests. We've got Denise Garratt from Help for Wildlife.
Hello, Denise.
And you might know the signs that you see on the roads there with the a mobile number to help animals that you find on the side of the road.
Right,
So
met
we'll be giving
before.
her number
We know
out.
each other. When my little possum was heat stressed back in the summer, you came to our rescue.
And has now got a cholesterol problem as well.
No doubt that.
Good to see you, Denise.
And we've got Kim Dale, who's illustrated and written many books on wildlife. And
Okay.
she's been on the short list there with the Children's Book Council. And so she's going to talk about her work.
Very good, Kim. Welcome to both of you.
And thank you for having me.
Now, do you illustrate your own books and write the stories as well?
Yes, I do. I do
Okay.
both.
Oh, so the illustrations are yours then.
Oh,
That's
how clever
excellent.
you are.
That is very, very clever.
These would be in great demand overseas, where you do sketches of indigenous animals. The Japanese and Chinese would love all these books with our native animals, wouldn't they?
Well, they actually are. There's a school in Hong Kong. I recently had an email that the man there whose teachers said that the kids over there love the books. And he's actually asked me to illustrate a book for him on the pink dolphin.
Okay, and you might do one on Chinese pandas sometime, chewing a bamboo shoot maybe.
Well, I have actually done one on the
Here's one she
moon bears.
prepared earlier.
Yes,
Phil.
this is one I prepared earlier.
Okay.
And you're a native of Tasmania?
No, that will take another 30 years before I'll be accepted.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's the way it goes there. No, I moved over there about 8 years ago.
Oh, did you? Right, I thought you were Tasmanian born, but anyway, that's by the by. But these are excellent books, and that one Phil's got in his hand too. It looks really, Bush Babies.
Where can we buy your books?
Yeah.
You can get them basically through Collins and other major bookstores.
No, fair dinkum. Oh, Echidna, yeah, right. Okay,
It isn't
right.
Echidna.
And she's not kidding you.
No, I'm not kidding you.
Now, Denise, let's talk to you about the wonderful work you do in rehabilitating stray animals and injured animals and so on.
And Nigel would have been one of your first customers, would that be
Yeah,
right?
I think I was. I've been working with Denise now for almost 30 years.
Yes.
Where is your sanctuary?
It's in a little place called Gruyere in the middle of the Yarra Valley.
I think a couple of months ago you had a very nice write-up in the Herald Sun.
Yes.
And what animals had you been rescuing then?
We Help for Wildlife looks after anything that needs
I
help.
think they might have been kangaroos or wallabies.
Mainly kangaroos.
Maybe one with an arrow through the head or whatever. It's disgusting, isn't it, what some people get up to?
It's tragic.
The cruelty that some people, inflict on animals, they deserve to go to hell, I think. That's my theory.
I agree. Busy time at the moment with springtime. There's so much going on out there.
Yes, I'm sure. And who funds your sanctuary, or are you self-sufficient?
Self-funded.
That's tough, isn't it?
The whole organisation's self-funded.
Buying all the feed and all the medicines and vet fees and so on.
And the rescues. We do an awful lot of rescues.
So you could do with donations, Denise, I'm guessing?
Very welcome.
Right, we'll give yourself a plug.
Well, we will at the end.
All right, okay, Phil.
When you've tugged at our heartstrings.
Yeah.
You've seen our mobile surgery.
I have.
haven't you?
Yes, you were down at the Yarra Boulevard in the height of summer, trying to rescue some of those little bats they were, that were heat stressed, weren't they?
We had 100 babies come through in 3 afternoons.
I know, I was there.
You were.
And you were bottle feeding them and reviving them.
And 98 survived.
And the caravan was air conditioned, thankfully, yes. So, Nigel, where did your paths cross with Denise?
Oh, just generally working with wildlife. I work with many different organisations and different individual private wildlife shelters. And, Denise has been at the forefront of wildlife care. She was involved in the very first original wildlife shelter in Victoria.
Oh, you were?
Yep.
And what's in your shelter at the moment, Denise?
Oh, at the moment I've got 24 little animals to feed, ranging from adults to young, all being rehabilitated. I've got all sorts there, mainly kangaroos.
Any possums at the moment?
Yes, a gorgeous little boy called Elliot.
What, ringtail maybe?
He's a brushtail maybe.
Oh, gorgeous. And any bird life?
Yes, I have 3.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's always full. We're very geared up for rescues as well. So there's the shelter side of it, which is my private shelter.
Yes.
And then, of course, we run Helpful Wildlife, which is the statewide wildlife emergency service.
And did you say you're a Gruyere?
Yes.
And is that where the cheese comes from?
No, but it was named after that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And are people welcome to come visit you, or is it...
No, it's private.
Okay, all right. But as John suggested, later we can find out how we can assist you financially, perhaps, or in other ways. Yeah. Now, Kim, have you thought about doing a book based on Denise's experiences at the shelter?
If I did that, it would be a novel.
Well, no, it'd be very original, wouldn't it?
It would be a novel.
Because it'd be based on true life experiences.
I've known Denise now for, I'm not sure.
100 years.
100 years.
Yes.
And I've just been with Denise for the last 2 days, and Elliot is my love at the moment. The little brushtail,
yeah.
Yes.
But no, we've actually talked about doing something there, and I've no doubt in the future we will.
It must break your heart having to release them back into the wild.
Oh, no.
After you've lost your heart to them, you know?
Oh, it's the most wonderful feeling to see them go back where they belong. That's what we do it for.
And do you have forests nearby? Can you release them nearby? So maybe they come back to visit from time to time?
Oh, some do.
Yeah.
Some do.
I was about to say, they probably do come back, don't they? I mean, do you recognise them? Or fly back? Do you recognise them when they come back?
Oh, yeah, you do. You do. But they're wild, and we have to. This is why we don't have anyone else near them. They come in wild, and we need to keep them wild, and we need to get them back to the wild.
And what do you think about people who actually feed possums? You know, I mean, I know a chap who does feed one every night. What do you think?
I think they're the most wonderfully caring people.
Oh, right, okay.
You know, my possum, she's just had a little baby that's on. She brought her down on her back to show me very proudly.
Yeah.
And she gets a possum at 7 o'clock at night and another one. No, she doesn't get a possum. She gets an apple every night.
Oh, that's
2 apples a night.
That's beautiful.
And we've become very good pals. And she's so tame, she'll really take the apple out of my hand.
Eat off your hand, right up to the elbow.
Very, very trusting,
Such
aren't they?
a privilege.
Yeah, I agree. It is. It is a privilege. Now, Nigel, you've been very silent so far. It's almost summertime, and snakes that have been hibernating, I suppose, are starting to reappear.
Yes, I've had a couple of calls already for snakes, but more importantly is all the baby birds that are on the ground that are leaving the nests at the moment. So just a general word to all the public out there that if you do see a bird on the ground, just stand back for a while and monitor the bird. If it is injured with a broken leg or a broken wing, or it's out of the nest far too early where the wing feathers haven't developed, they're the ones that need rescuing.
Okay.
But if they're just hopping around and, checking out life, well, birds will actually spend anything up to 5 days on the ground before they're actually learning how to fly, before they're up and flying.
Are they safe on the ground, though, with foxes around? And
they're not safe, and this is where the public come in and snatch the baby magpies and turn the adult birds into swooping birds, whereas they should have been left behind. So if you're thinking twice about rescuing an animal, give one of the wildlife shelters or charities a ring and get some advice before you go and steal the babies away from the parents, because they've done such a good job to get them to that age. It's such a shame that they lose them right on the point of flying.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
So just think twice about rescuing the birds that are on the ground. If it is injured, yes, absolutely. But if it's not injured, leave it alone, but keep the cats and dogs away.
Now, have you been involved with some ducks lately?
I'm doing a goose relocation off a lake on Sunday. One of Melbourne's major lakes. Is about 30-odd geese there. It's overpopulated. So we're going to go down and catch all the geese.
And where will they be relocated?
I've got some people that have got 5 interlocking dams on a private property. And it's a beautiful place for them to go, and they take all my ducks and geese off me.
And geese hard to catch?
Sometimes they are. Well, I did 155 geese off the Coburg Lake a couple of years ago, and we set up the net on the shore and put the boat in the water, and normally we round them up off the water into the net on the land, but these geese just went flying from one end of the lake to the other. I'd go back down to that end, I'd fly back up to the other end. So we went from plan A to about plan Z before we worked out a way that we could trap them all and get them.
Have you been rescuing any pelicans of late that have got caught up in fishermen's nets?
Right, I did do a pelican a couple of weeks ago that was tangled up in a bit of rope on a private dam. He did really well, and he was released back down there about 10 days later. But we are getting a lot of entanglement as we do at this time of the year. While people are out there visiting the parks and the waterways, please look out at all the wildlife, admire them, but look out for shiny hooks hanging off them, bits of fishing line dangling behind them, because there are a lot of animals out there that are entangled, and unless we get the reports, there's not much that we can do about them.
I saw on Peter Hitchener's news the other night, John, you probably did, what people throw down the toilet and throw down the kitchen sink, including, you know, paint and all that sort of thing. Well, that ends up in our stormwater drains.
And in the wetlands.
Which in turn ends up in our rivers and in our bays. And, you know,
does.
Same with cigarette butts and all the plastic bags.
A lot of pollution, and a lot of our problems that all the carers and everybody deal with are all man-made. They're all caused by humans, one way or another.
And there's such hazards to marine life and to bird life as well.
Absolutely, for sure.
So now I'm going to go around the table and ask you, Nigel, a contact number for people who'd like to be in touch with you, because apart from the wonderful work you do from a humanitarian point of view, you're running a business, you're eradicating vermin and possums and other animals that get stuck here and there. For
general rescues of any sort of animals, whether they're native, domestic or vermin, I can be contacted on 0427 533 083.
Yes.
That's a 24-hour number covering all of Melbourne.
All right. Now, I don't think you're much of an animal person, are you? You haven't joined in this conversation much.
No, I'm sitting here totally fascinated because I'm seeing every aspect of the animal kingdom.
Yeah,
Bill.
but also living in an apartment, it's hard for you to have domestic animals, isn't it?
Well, it is, yes. I have a daughter and a wife, and I think that's
enough for you.
about as far as it goes.
That's expensive enough, isn't it?
Exactly right, yeah.
John, one question for you. How do you stop a magpie from hitting you in the head?
I don't know.
You weren't listening last week, were you?
You point to the magpie.
Oh, you point at them. That's right. Yes, I thought this was going to be a joke, but it's
no.
Right. I thought you were going to talk about a Collingwood supporter. Yeah. No, you do. Actually, you turn around, you point at them.
You point at the bird, look at the bird, and clear away out of the area, and the bird won't make physical contact.
Fair enough if it's coming from in front of you, but slipping from behind, you don't get much warning.
Well, you paint some eyes on the back of your helmet.
Well, yes and no, but if you do get whacked in the back of the head, well, obviously turn around, you know you've been hit, look at the bird, point at it, and it won't touch you again, and clear the area.
So if a magpie whacks you in the back of the head, you turn around and say, mate, it's only a bloody game, all right, you know?
Now,
I know you're behind by about 20 goals.
And who says magpies don't perform in September?
Now, Kim Dale, just a word with you. Where can we purchase these wonderful array of children's books?
Just basically the bookstores, you know, as I said, whether it's Collins, Dimick's.
Okay, are you online as well?
Online. You can email me actually at talkingwild@gmail.com.
Okay, well,
and I'll respond to that personally.
Give that to me again.
That's talkingwild.
Talkingwild, one word.
Yes, at gmail.com.
Right.
No AU?
No,
okay,
no,
good.
just yes.
Right. And do you have any more books coming up for Christmas?
Yes, well, it probably will be throughout the next year. We're not quite sure yet when this is going to be released. I've got a book called Tasmania, My Backyard. I've moved to Tasmania.
Yes, you said so.
Yeah, and we have land at the back and through Tasmanian Land Conservancy. The land is of high conservation value. We have rare and endangered species of flora and fauna there.
Yes, there would be, yes.
And we want to open that to the public as a walk. A trail through there.
Well, keep in touch with us. We'll promote that for you when the time comes. And I just want to say to you, Denise, you have a very big heart for what you do for animals. And if you think of how many you've rescued over the years and nurtured and got back into civilization again, you should be very proud of your achievements. I don't know if you've ever been honoured with a citation or an award, but you'll get your reward in the hereafter, I am sure. And we wish you well. How can people, as John suggested, how can people help you financially?
Well, financially, we'd be very grateful, and we try and support the carers. It's the carers out there that are doing the actual work.
Yes.
With our organisations, a little bit differently. Yes, we do give advice and we organise rescues, but personally, we've also got the wildlife shelter, so we've got a two-pronged effect there. But the work that is actually being done is by the carers themselves.
Okay, so how can we keep in touch with you if we want to donate some feed or whatever?
If you'd be kind enough to get in touch with my email address, which is Help for Wildlife.
Give that to us again.
Help for Wildlife.
Help for Wildlife.
That's FOR. Right,
FOR,
yeah. Right, yeah.
At bigpond.com.
Beautiful.
Big Pond. And Nigel, thank you very much for bringing these very special guests.
Now, they're two very, very special people, and I really wish everybody would support both of them.
Good to see you. Catch you again Friday night of next
Will
week
do.
for the first of the summer series of Nightline.
Looking forward to it.
And good night to you, Denise, and good night, Kim.